Welcome to LifeTalk with Mariette. I am Mariette. This show is about the life lessons that shape us, what I've learned, what I'm still learning, and how we grow through challenge, awareness, and purpose. I will share personal insights to motivate and inspire you, and sometimes invite guests who do the same. At its heart, LifeTalk is about real stories, real growth, and meaningful connection. This is LifeTalk with Mariette. Motivational, inspirational, full of heart. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to LifeTalk with Mariette. I'm your host, Mariette Kammer. And today's title is Stop Waiting for Permission to Live Your Life. You are the person who gives yourself permission. How much of your life do we spend waiting for someone else to tell us that it is okay? Now, let me repeat this first question. How much of our life do we spend waiting for someone else to tell us that it is okay? Question mark. Okay to change, okay to leave, okay to begin again, okay to say no, okay to want something different, okay to be successful, okay to live differently from the people around us. For generations, permission was not just an emotional idea, it was built into laws, workplaces, and social customs. Women could be told that marriage meant the end of a job. In the United States, so-called marriage bars were used by employers to avoid hiring married women or to dismiss women when they married. They were especially associated with teaching, clerical work, and persisted into the mid-20th century. And financial independence was not something women could always take for granted. Congress enacted the Equal Credit Opportunity Act in 1974 after widespread discrimination in credit based on sex and marital status. Practices included holding women to different standards, discounting a married woman's income, and refusing some married people individual credit. So when we talk about permission, there is history behind that word. But here's the question for today. What happens when the law no longer requires permission, but we still live as though somebody else has to approve our life? A husband is not the boss of your life. A wife is not the boss of your life. Your employer may be the boss at work, but that person is not the boss of your life. Your children are not. Your friends are not. Society is not. You're responsible for your choices, and that means you're also the person who must finally give yourself permission. So you're tuned in to Life Talk with Mariette. I'm your host, Mariette, and let's get started. We have a lot to cover. Category 1, who taught us to ask for permission? So the first question really is, where does this need for permission begin? Well, very early. As children, we are supposed to ask permission. We ask parents, teachers, and other adults what we may do. And I find that okay. I lived with that. I find that no problem. I have no problem with that. That is necessary when you're young. The problem comes when we become adults, but never completely stop looking for an authority figure. We may replace the parent with a spouse, a boss, our adult children, or even public opinion. Now, I want to say something. Asking for permission, can I go in and make myself a sandwich? Being polite. I don't want this to be misunderstood. Asking for permission versus being polite. So, I always ask for permission as a child growing up with anything and everything. So I think I would put that under the category of being polite. So when I had a thought, when I had a certain desire, how I like to do things, I like to go out and play, let's say, because the kids were playing. And I asked for permission. And of course, I couldn't join the kids. They didn't believe in playing with kids and who knows what. So I asked for permission and it wasn't granted. So I just wanted to make that clear. I was always very polite, but growing up as a very young child, and then as a teenager, I knew I needed nobody's permission to go after my dreams. I knew that. That was my decision to execute it alone. I didn't care what anybody thought, except that is what I want, and I'm going to go for it. If that makes sense to you. So, in general, I don't ask for any permission. Can I do this? Can I do this project? Can I do that? And so forth. I don't like that. Permission asking, who am I going to ask for permission? Who? So, was permission once a real part of a woman's working life? Well, here it comes, absolutely. In the United States, marriage bars existed in many workplaces. A woman could be considered suitable for employment while single and then become unacceptable to the employer simply because she married. Teaching and clerical work were major examples. That history matters because it shows how deeply the idea of someone else deciding a woman's choice was embedded in everyday life. And I just want to mention something to you. I just learned, just the other day, I read it online, that in Germany, prior to 1957, women teachers, they could not be married. They had to be single in order to work in that profession. And as soon as they got married, they would lose their job. So that was prior to 1957. I said, what? I know about the women in a relationship, they had to ask their husband for permission. I want to cry when I hear something like that. Yeah? So anyway, let's move on to question number 3. What did money have to do with permission? Money creates choices. When a person cannot easily obtain credit, establish financial independence, or control enough resources to make a decision, freedom becomes limited. So the Equal Credit Opportunity Act of 1974 prohibited credit discrimination based on sex and marital status. It is a reminder that some freedoms we now consider ordinary are relatively recent. Okay? Did the law changing automatically change people's thinking? That's the next question. No, law can change faster than habits. A rule may disappear from the workplace, yet the old expectation can remain inside families and inside us. I know that's true. That's very true. And it's a generational repetition. Someone may technically be free to make a decision, and they still feel guilty for making it without approval. Ask yourself that. I don't have that inside of me, that I feel guilty making, decisions without approval. Well, who's going to approve what with me? All my life, I've been single longer than married. So, but I bet there are many people out there that feel like that. Now let's move on. Why should we talk about this history today? Well, not to remain in the past, but to understand the present. If generations were taught that the proper thing was to seek approval, sacrifice personal ambition, or let someone else make the final decision, pieces of that thinking can be passed down. Once we recognize it, we can decide whether it still belongs in our life. I have to say, I didn't have to ask for anything growing up because I didn't get anything. And I said at age 12, I have to leave this house at some point because everything they're doing here is not something I would want to live or live for the rest of my life. So to give you an idea, they were great parents, meaning they were good people. reliable, strong individuals, had a great work ethic. They both went through the war where they lost everything, and they had to build their lives again. So you can imagine that their only concern was to own their own home, and owning your own home as a blue-collar worker back in the 50s in Germany was a big deal. Not everybody could do that, strictly because of the finances and the cost. So white-collar workers, yes, but not blue-collar workers. So my father was really the exception. And that's all he found in my mother, the right partner, going back and analyzing all of this, because she worked just as hard, and they got themselves a nice home, nice area, new development area at that time, outside the city, but now it's in the city because of the development in so many years, So, and the two of them, that's all they, that they had enough to eat, that they had a comfortable life, and that's what they concentrated on, and that's what they got. So they taught me right from wrong. They taught me to be polite to people. I love that. I always ask for permission. That's how I grew up. So it's the same when let's say, for instance, I go into a store and they have samples on the counter. I always ask, may I take a piece? And the person says, sure. Even though it's there, and some people go up there and just take, and they don't say anything. So there has to be a certain, how do I say it? Culture. You always ask. Or when you go to see your friends, I don't just take because it's on the table. I will ask, hey, Norma, can I taste this little chocolate dish here? I always ask for permission, and I feel good about that. I really do. So, but history is just so important because we just react. We have that history with us for all this time. Anyway, when a relationship becomes the permission, let's get into that. Is considering your spouse the same as asking permission? No. A healthy partnership includes conversation, respect, and consideration. Major decisions can affect two people, so of course we talk. But consulting is different from surrendering ownership of your life. What do you think? Is it different from am I allowed? I think we know the difference. And we have enough people. Can I learn how to drive a car? She's saying after 30 years of marriage. And he's wondering why. So he's going to talk her out of it. But she's insisting, I want to learn how to drive a car. So she has to justify why she wants to learn how to drive a car. She's been in the passenger seat for all these years, and now she wants to drive a car. Now, if it was a different guy, he would have said, would you like to drive someday? Come on, I'll teach you. I like that. Compared to him being in control behind the wheel, not just behind the wheel, but behind the life wheel. So to depend on him or her. That's why they're doing it. So anyway, so am I allowed, or what do you think? And again, major decisions are buying a home, a condo, buying a $100,000 car or a $70,000 car. those are all major investments, major decisions. And look, when you have your own salary, you can move and shake it. I'm not talking about a part-time job where you make $200. I'm not talking about that. But you make your decisions, you stick with it, and you have the responsibility. What happens when we make another person responsible for our choices? Oh, that's different. We may feel safer for a while because if something goes wrong, it was not entirely our decision. I don't think that way. I have never in my life thought that way. I make the decision, so be it. If it's the wrong decision, so be it. I just won't think that way anymore. I learned. But we also give away something important: responsibility. Freedom and responsibility come together. If I want to be the boss of my own life, I also have to own the consequences of my decisions. So, folks, there are people out there that can't make decisions, period. They're already up there, 40, 50, 60, 70. At this point, if you can't make decisions, you've never been able to make decisions in your whole life. I'm not going to change it, and I don't want to change it. You need to make your own decision. And so what's the big deal? So you make decisions. Yeah? So, look, certain decisions where I have to ask maybe somebody very few times is, let's say, for instance, if you're moving out of a home, let's just say, or you're moving from one state far across the U.S. to another state across the United States. So I may ask you what you think. So, well, why do you want to go there? What's there? What's happening there? Why do you want to do that? So when I make a decision, I normally don't ask people, what do you think? As long as I feel okay with it, that's what counts. Okay? So, and it's nothing traumatic. So you also have to own the consequences of your decision. So big deal, consequences. I wouldn't even use that word, consequences. What is this? You make the decision, so be it. So if it's a wrong one, well, you learn, so big deal. A lot of people say, yeah, I went on this dating app and everybody said not to go on the dating app, and I found this guy and I fell in love and he cheated me out of $200,000. And look, that's extreme. That's not what we're talking about. But I do want to consider that. So, first of all, I don't go on a dating app. That's number one. Number two, I don't give anybody any money. And third, I do understand that it is possible. We hear it no matter what country we're in, what part of the world. People, when they fall in love, you become gullible. So, and don't beat yourself up too much. It's part of going out there and being part of the game, if you will. However, I'm sorry if that happened to you. I don't wish it on anybody. So let's leave it at that. Can you love someone and still choose something they do not completely understand? What? Can you love someone and still choose something they do not completely understand? Well, yes. Love does not require two people to become the same person. A partner may not share every dream, interest, or ambition. The real question is whether there is enough respect in the relationship for each person to continue growing. Well, let's just say I was with a partner and he doesn't have to love what I'm doing. Just don't stand in my way. And you can stand in my way by also being quiet. You can be verbal about it or you can be silent, and it's the same thing. So, I don't require you to share my dream. Just do not say anything against it. Don't stop me. And I know, let's just say, let's just make this a little fun. I bungee, I jump bungee jumping, right? For enjoyment. And I won many rewards. If you can get rewards from bungee jumping, I don't know. I'm just using it as an example. So, and I won many contests, and it means so much to me, and this and that, and I traveled. And of course, he would think, oh, that's ridiculous, jumping off with a rope and everything. And it means the world to me. Let's just say it, right? And naturally, that would cause problems because I'm away from home. I'm excited about it. Can create problems. That's all I'm saying. So I would know that right up front if somebody is really against that, and I wouldn't want to be with a person like that, you know. And no, I don't jump any. I don't do bungee jumping, and but I just wanted to use it as an example. And it can apply to many areas in your life. And the minute you bring them and you make them part of what you're doing, they may just go along with it, tag along, and you know what? Deep down they're resenting it, and that doesn't, that's not okay. So why do people sometimes shrink themselves in a relationship? Sometimes it keeps the peace. Sometimes they are afraid of being judged, rejected, or left. Okay. Keeping the peace, I see that. That never happened to me. When I saw something, I confronted it. Sometimes they're afraid of being judged, rejected, or left. That was never my thinking. No, but it happens to people. Sometimes it happens so gradually that they do not notice. One compromise becomes another until one day they ask, where did I go? All of this, what I'm talking about, I skipped in my lifetime. I don't want this. I listened to other people experiencing that, and maybe it was my destiny not to be married during my lifetime, even though I experienced it. And yeah, back in the 60s, my mother, it was very important to instill that I should be married, and only a woman who is married has a place in society, something like that. I don't remember exact words, but it was very important to women that they're married. And God forbid if it was a Fräulein, a miss in the mixes, and oh, what's wrong with her? How come she's not married? This old time thinking, oh my God, But it was true at the time. It was really true. And I love being single. I really do. Because I have me. I've gotten to know me. I learned over the years how to really provide for myself, to support myself. And till you got that all worked out, that takes a few years, especially if you make a business out of this whole thing. Not as an employee, that's one thing. The money is there on Fridays or twice a month or whatever. But it took me years to perfect what I wanted to do and make a living at it. So, and today, I think not everybody is cut out for marriage, for whatever reasons, for all personal reasons. Okay, so we won't go further into that. What is a good question to ask yourself in a relationship? Am I sharing my life with this person, or have I handed this person authority over my life? I'd like you to ask that question. I'll repeat it. Am I sharing my life with this person, or have I handed this person authority over my life? A relationship should add to who you are. It should not require you to disappear. I have no further questions on that. That's something we all have to answer. I already know my answer, but that's something that's very deep. And when you have to ask yourself and you have to be honest with yourself, you will have the answer. Anyway, moving right along. You're listening to Life Talk with Mariette. I'm your host, Mariette Kammer, and we're in category 3, your boss, your family, and everybody else's opinion. How much power should a boss have over us? Well, I have to tell you, I was born, raised, and educated in Europe. And in the 60s, I was an apprentice. And business owners had a tremendous power over us apprentices. The apprentice had to do anything and everything, from all the dirty jobs to go here, go there, to just like a gopher, So, and in the meantime, you were learning the ropes and also going to school at night once or twice a week. So a boss has authority connected to the job. They can assign work, evaluate performance, and make decisions within that workplace. But a job title does not give another human being ownership over your identity, your dreams, or the rest of your life. Your boss is the boss of your job, not the boss of your life. Well, you know what? That's a fine line. It's always a fine line, because you're late 10 minutes. You need to take the day off tomorrow. The kid needs to be going to the doctor. The dog needs an operation, and all of this. Meaning, your boss, your job is part of your life. It's very tough that the boss is not part of your life. That's very tough. Let me get a swig of iced coffee. Why do we care so much about what other people think? Because belonging matters to human beings. We do not want to be rejected or embarrassed, but there is a cost when belonging requires us to live a life that is no longer ours. Approval feels good, but it is a poor substitute for self-respect. I never was interested in what anybody thinks till I started my public career. First in television, then radio for 18 years. And I started off, and after a few years, how do I say this? I do care. I care a lot what people think. That's why I always pick programs that I have a deep connection to. I pick titles and topics that I have a deep connection to, not something that I just talk about and fill the time. And I have to have a deep connection to it. So, and I know when my delivery was good enough. Whether you like me or you don't like me, I have no control over that. And you know what? I don't worry about that. As long as I know that I had a very sincere delivery of what I wanted to deliver, that's all I care about. And then I know it was good. And I've always worked like that. I don't talk about anything that I dislike. That's why I really don't want to make too many shows on relationships. It's just endless. Some people, they talk about relationships all their life. I can't do that. There's certain aspects of relationships, like independence, like the one we're talking about today, is very important. And the other show that we did why women are waking up and relationships are changing. But that's about it. It's just, I don't want to get stuck in that area. So, and look, we all have our experiences. To jump back on the, in the saddle, so I have something to talk about. I don't want to do, and I don't want to take third-hand information for all my programs and talk about that. I don't want to do that either. So I just have my personal reasons why I don't want to make this whole TV program about relationships. Okay? Let's just leave it at that. So, I don't want to think about what other people think. That's too much. I have enough things to handle and think about myself and get everything squared away. I don't have time for that or the interest. So what about your adult children? Should their opinion matter? Well, I have to tell you, I do care about my daughter. And my daughter and I, we had a very strange relationship throughout our lives. So at this point in my life, I do care about what she thinks. I very much so. So their opinion can matter without becoming the deciding vote. Parents sometimes spend decades caring for children and then later in life begin asking those same children for permission to travel, date, move, work, or change their lives. Well, that's nonsense. I'm not going that far. Please, So, and the same with my daughter. There are only certain areas where I would care what she thought. And it says, well, listen to people who love you. Forget it. Do your own thing. Then remember, advice is information, not an order. Look, the kids have their own life. They don't include me in every single step they do. Are you kidding me? We only live 3 miles apart. I hardly see them. Even though I go there every week, I drop something off. They may not be home yet, or they're going somewhere, so I don't want to disturb them. I have to drop something off. I can do that in the garage. And so on weekends, I know my daughter wants to relax. She wants to do what she wants to do. If that means nothing all day and watch TV, that's fine, because she has a very demanding job in the hospital as a cancer therapist. And that's her only time to unwind. Or she's planning remodeling the other house, getting ready to move furniture and replacing furniture of the house. Her father just died in July. So that takes some planning. A beautiful home on the lake. And it's a very beautiful home, but it's 5 hours here from Connecticut in Vermont, So she's busy. That's what I want to say to you. They're all busy. So the kids are out of the house now. Sophie's in London. And Max is, he quit school, he quit college, so he's doing something else. And they're all busy. And that's why I'm saying now I'm going to bring the care when you need help. You need to have somebody you can call and who can help you. Because kids are not mentally and sometimes physically in a situation where they can help you or want to help you. Okay, so adult children, we all have our own stories, I know. You know what? When their opinion matters, we see that when a mom or dad falls, they're in the hospital and they have to come home, and then they bring a caretaker in there, a paid caretaker. Then they start getting involved. And they're worried about, here goes the inheritance. This is just my own opinion, folks. Yeah? So then they get involved. And I don't want to say this is across the board. No. I learned a lot about care and then how the siblings are. And one sibling, let's say there are three siblings, and there's only one sibling who's actually really just there for the mother and father, and the other two forget about. They just talk, but they want to have an input. So there's, oh my God, there's so many stories. I don't think I could do all shows about this topic in my lifetime, but I think you know what I'm saying. Adult children do start giving their opinion when mother or father is starting to, their health is deteriorating, and that's when they get involved. Yeah. Okay. What role does social media play in this? It can turn the whole world into an imaginary jury. Before we do something, we picture how people will react. Will they approve? Will they laugh? Will they criticize? Now, let me just stop here. I've put shows together about AI, artificial intelligence. And I have to say, I stand by artificial intelligence for what we want to get out of artificial intelligence. And it was about how AI is really helping us with when we have technical issues, and they guide you right through it, and it's talking to just like a person. So I don't need to necessarily post again how great AI is, because the first time I did that, just to let people know, hey, it really helps you. It helped us in the technical arena, and I want to share that with you. Well, I got about 8 or 10 feedback. 4 or 5 were negative, and the other 5 were thumbs up. So I will never do that again, because I don't need anybody's approval whether I use AI or not, whether I think AI is good or not. I don't need that. But I learned that from my very first posting. And I wanted to share something. I wanted to encourage. That's why I did it. I don't need to tell anybody, oh, I'm using AI for to help us with the technical part. No, I wanted to do something good and share my information. Well, that backfired. It was half and half. And that's when you give certain people who don't have emotional and mental clarity, you give them a free pass to lash out at you that has actually nothing to do with AI. And that I will not be subject to. I don't care if you use AI or not. I don't care. I don't care if you educate yourself, nothing. I don't, we did a couple of shows on AI with Robert Adamo, and we have it in the Business Champion. And that was good enough for me. And look, we have so many things, the smartphones, the GPSs, the spell check and everything. So this will all be great. It will, whatever it is, if you don't, look, it's up to you. Okay. I don't need people's approval. Will they laugh or will they criticize? Most people are far more occupied with their own lives than with ours. We can waste years answering criticism, but it has not even happened. So we can waste years answering criticism that has not even happened. Yeah? How do we know when advice has become control? Well, just ask yourself, am I gathering information so I can make a better decision? Or am I gathering approval because I'm afraid to make the decision myself? Advice should strengthen your ability to choose, not to replace. I don't quite get this. I don't quite get this. I don't quite get this. Do you get this? I don't. So let's skip to the next one. Anyway, you're listening to LifeTalk with Mariette. I'm your host, Mariette Camera. Giving yourself permission now. Now, finally. So what are we actually giving ourselves permission to do? to change our minds, to begin again, to stop doing something that no longer works. Bingo. To try something new. Okay. To be alone if that is healthier. Bingo. To love again. All right. To work. Yes. To retire. Yay. To create. Yes. To travel. To speak up. To become a different version of ourselves. Let's get into speaking up. Start practicing how to speak up. To your child, to your husband or to your wife, to your co-worker. People are around you. They have something you don't like. Speak up. To travel. Yes, that needs to be planning. Needs to have some planning. That's something I should put on the list. I like to travel a little more, and I think I can. And I need to plan on that. I can actually see. I don't have an RV, but if I could travel with somebody in an RV and I could take my cat, that would be great. I would love to do that. I would do that. But then we have to think about, with the home and everything, but I'm sure that can be all worked out. But the cat, I kind of like to take her with me and not have somebody take care of her, because people say after a month, oh, we can't take care of your cat anymore. You got to come back, and we can't have that. So, okay, so travel will go on my list. To create, I create all the time, 24 hours, 24/7. And as long as I can create, I feel alive. And I have to say something. And I know the summer was kind of like a bummer for me. I had some chronic pains, and then it in my knee, and then my entire body. Something I couldn't move anymore, and it was getting worse and worse. So the doctor that I go to, the lady doctor, said, "Oh, physical therapy." And you know what? When I went to I said, that doesn't sound too good. I always like to read, that didn't make any sense to me. Because I read up on it, and I contacted the chiropractor, and he put me in front of this machine, and my entire body was inflamed. So, and we got this now under control. So what I wanted to say to you, when you're in chronic pain, it's very difficult to be in that state of mind to create. I just wanted to bring that up so I know how you feel, the people out there with chronic pain. Okay, next one, to retire. I don't want to retire. Maybe do a little less. Maybe something a little slower. I don't have to be out there every day and look the part and this, that, and beat people's doors down. And I sit back a little more and analyze, well, how many times did you call them? Well, I called a local authority who give workshops to communities over 55, and I called them 4 times, and then I learned that person isn't responsible for the workshops. So now she gives me the real person, and I already called their 3. I said, what am I doing? Do I have to have them in my workshop? No. This is so tough. It's like I have to beat down the doors. I don't want to do that anymore. I've done this. So I look at things now and I weigh it out. I weigh, do I really want to do this? So they're people. You have to call them 5, 6, 7 times, and maybe then you can talk to them. I don't want to do that. I don't care. If I have to call you that many times, that means something isn't right. So I got to listen to that. The other day, I do want to tell you something. The other day, I was so impressed. It was, I put together a series of 6 workshops at a local library. And I was so impressed with the person that handles the adult programs, how quickly he got back to me and how quickly he does. It's in his DNA to get back, just like me. I get back very promptly. And that's very unusual. And I complimented him on that. I said, you may think this is normal. It's not. It's in every company. It's like that. So anyway, to work. I work all the time. So just like Dolly Parton, bless her soul, she passed away August 25th, 2026. That was yesterday. Today is August 26th, 2026. And she worked right up to the day she couldn't work anymore. And I loved her. I loved her very much. And this is how I see myself. I want to work. I've been self-employed for 43 years, now going on 43 years. I want to be able to do that all the time. However, I'm going to cut it back just a little bit and just slow down the wheel a little bit. That's what I want to say. Yeah. And be extremely selective who I want to work with and who I let into my environment. So, okay, speaking up was never my problem. I like to travel a little more or start traveling a little more. I'm creating all the time, and I love that. That's part of my lifeline. Retire? No. Right up till I can't work anymore, and that answers work. It's all part of my being. Okay. Does giving yourself permission mean doing whatever you want without considering anyone else? Absolutely not. Come on, who put this question together? Self-permission is not selfishness. It is not their responsibility. Mature freedom considers consequences and the people affected by your choices. The difference is that after listening, thinking, and weighing the consequences, you make the decision instead of waiting for someone to authorize your life. No, I'm giving myself permission. I have to consider the other person, meaning in business. There's me and my potential client. I do have to consider the other person. I'm not in a relationship, so we don't need to address that. What about age? Does age become another authority over us? It can if we let it. Oh, I have to tell you something. The other day, I'm on TikTok, so this guy, I would say maybe 60s. No, that's right. He was in his early 70s. That's right. So he made a big point about it. He goes, I'm 73 and I don't know how much longer I live. That's why we went to England a couple of years ago and thought maybe this could be our last trip. So this kind of person. And I almost went nuts just even letting him talk up to that point. And I knew exactly what this person is all about. He's anticipating death any minute now. So I don't want to be around people like that. Look, it can happen at any age, except when you're 20 or 30, you don't expect that, but you hear it more and more that people pass away at all different ages. But to be with a person that constantly reminds every breath that they're taking, it could be the last one, get the heck out of my way. So, do I need to say more? I don't think so. So, ask a better question. Is this something I want, can reasonably do, or am I willing to take responsibility for it? Now, wait a minute. So, what about age? Does age become another authority over us? For myself, I don't want to let it become the authority. So sometimes we experience more dramatic changes within our body. You know, we can't lift this arm anymore, or move this leg a certain way, or who knows what signs the body sends to us. I don't know. So That I will pay close attention. This is not something I'm terribly concerned about, but I would be concerned about it. Let me put it this way. And hoping with my positive thinking that I'm right about it. So that's it. What if you make the wrong decisions? I already said that to you. Everybody that makes wrong decisions, being in charge of your own life, does not guarantee perfect choices. It means you're willing to learn from your choices. That's not necessarily true. Look at some of the people I've talked about. Look, every time something went the wrong way, not their way, they changed relationships, got a new wife, new husband. I'm not kidding. Same in business. They changed jobs. A person that I really admired. What a loser. What a loser. Because with everything, they didn't learn a damn thing. When things got tight, when things got uncomfortable, they were not willing to learn from that to change anything. No, they left the person. And a new story started. What a loser. That's the first time I'm actually calling him a loser. What a loser. 5 wives. Think about it. So what's the first step? Choose one place in your life where you're still waiting for approval. Choose one place in your life where you are still waiting for approval. Oh, I see. I read that wrong. You know, my notes, I'm reading off a teleprompter, and so forgive me. I had to reread this. Choose one place. I don't know right now. If you want to ask yourself, choose a place in your life where you are still waiting for approval. I have to think about it. Ask yourself whose permission believe you need. Then ask, is that person truly responsible for this decision? Let us look. What is the first step? Let us just skip over this one. I'm not willing to talk about this. This I shouldn't have brought that in. I don't like that. Anyway, we have a few more minutes left. There was a time when permission was written into rules. You know what I said before. Women could lose jobs because they're married. Financial institutions could treat women differently because of sex or marital status. Those rules did not disappear because people politely waited to be told they could have a different life. Today, many of us have freedoms previously generations fought to obtain. But freedom on paper does not automatically become freedom inside us. Maybe nobody is stopping you anymore. Maybe nobody is actually saying no. Maybe the person you have been waiting for is you. You know what? I thought this was a little weird the way I worded it. You know, that what is the first step? Choose a place in your life where you're still waiting for approval. I don't have the answer for myself, but I will be thinking about this. I never thought of it this way, but I'm sure there are areas. I'm sure. I just really need to have a break after this and need to think about it, because while it's still fresh and while I'm putting the show together, I like to have that answer. It's important to me. So that nobody's stopping me, I understand that. And yes, I have a cat, so if I wanted to travel, I could take the cat with me. I've never done anything like that, and because then I worry, how is she taking it, and is she car sick, or is she, I've never done that. But anyway, that's not going to be an issue here. But I like to think about that. I kind of wanted to skip over it, but it's not letting me, meaning my mind is something to think about. So today, many of us have freedoms previous generations fought to obtain. I said that before. So, your husband is not the boss of you. Your wife is not the boss of you. Your employer is not the boss of your life. Your children do not get the final vote. And your friends do not get the final vote. And age does not get the final word. This, I love this. And age does not get the final vote. I think I'm going to make a show just on that. And age does not get the final vote. And I love that because I belong to the rare breed. I'm 75 years young. I don't look it. I don't act it. I'm very, very blessed. And you are as well. So here's the question. If I want to leave you with this, if you stopped waiting for somebody else's permission today, what would you finally give yourself permission to do? So that's your work. That's something you have to answer to yourself. And I'm certainly going to think about it. And I really mean that. I'm not just joshing here, So we're out of time. Thank you for joining us at LifeTalk with Mariette. And till next time.